Welcome to another very exciting episode of Listen to the Heartbeat with Aaron G. Listen to the Heartbeat is a platform where you matter, a platform where your voice will be heard. And today's special guest is Brother J. Brother J, Brother J, Brother J.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
What's amazing about this young man, I was just sitting doing some editing from the men's concert, and he was sharing with another one of our schoolmates about his sobriety. What's even more important that I heard that I asked him, can we do an episode? Brother said, listen, my relationship with alcohol had me to get to a point to where he had to divorce alcohol, right? And he was talking about coming up on 2 years without alcohol. Yep. Brother J, the floor is yours.
Well,
Tell us about that divorce you had almost 2 years ago with alcohol and what caused it.
For sure. Let me think here. I'm trying to get back into my mind. I was 24 years old. I had graduated from college in 2020. So I'm 4 years out of graduating. I don't really have a stable job at the time. I didn't really have any career aspirations in mind. And I was just drifting through life, trying to find the next party, trying to find the next distraction from answering the questions I didn't want to answer in my life. Who are you? What are you going to do with your life? Who are you going to be? I was at all times trying to avoid those questions, and they came usually at night when I was trying to fall asleep. And I would use alcohol and whatever other substance that I could find my hands on to avoid those questions because I was scared of them. I didn't want to answer those questions because, like I said, they scared me, and I didn't have a good enough answer for myself, and I didn't have good enough answers for other people. And I would find myself mainly drinking, and I was always trying to chase the next drink. And it was a weird feeling because I was never one just to have one and call it a night. I finished the first one, then we get to the second one. Second to the third to the fourth to the seventh. And then I'd wake up next day incoherent, just that fog. I had that fog for so long, and I didn't enjoy that.
I'm going to cut him off, y'all. He said he woke up, right? So in my world of sobriety, we tell the whole truth, and the whole truth was, I'm just talking about my truth. I came to.
True. This is very true. Head felt like it's just disintegrated, felt like a concrete block every single time. And for the longest time, I let myself get away with it because it was like a weekend thing, right? It was Monday through Friday. I mean, Friday night was the start of the weekend for sure. But Monday through Thursday, I was pretty tame. I usually didn't drink, but once the weekend got me, it was just a blur, really. And I kept that up for, oh God, probably 2018 to 2024. I mean, maybe not every single weekend, but most weekends. And it started catching up to me, and I just didn't like it after a certain point. Like I was saying, like I just didn't like my relationship with alcohol. I was using it to avoid the problems in my life, and I got to a certain point where I don't claim to be a very wise man, but at a certain point, it felt like I was staring into a canyon below. And I've heard so many stories from so many other people saying like, oh, hitting their rock bottom. And I didn't want to hit my rock bottom because I didn't know where that was going to lead. So I was staring into this absolute void of what my life could be if I kept going down this path. And I just simply chose to stop it early. I really didn't want to see where that road would lead to.
So they say in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says there's 3 types of drinkers,
Mm-hmm.
right? One is moderate,
okay,
right? One is a hard drinker,
mm-hmm.
and one is the real deal, okay? I was the real deal, and I identify with one is too many and 1,000 is never enough.
Yeah.
I identify with not being willing to be on the quest because he answered some. I mean, he at night. I would like to say his gut asked him, "Who are you going to be?"
Oh,
And
yeah.
since he decided to run from it, so the number one way, if you don't know, Brother Jay, to find out who we are, is we got to have some experiences to find out who we're not.
Okay.
And it seemed like you found out some of them experiences, and it seemed like it was some healthy people in his background, because he mentioned looking down steep like a canyon, like he looking down, and to me that painted a picture like a bottom, right? And so we say in the rooms of recovery, it doesn't matter what brought you here. We just want you to stay and have some sober experiences. What's amazing is he called it a relationship. And for his age, in his middle or late 20s, that's amazing, right? Because that ain't my story. My story was like at 42, I got to go do domestic violence because I put my hand on the woman I was with, and I'm addicted to lying. So when I get to the counselor says, "Brother, why you here?" I say, "Because my wife, mama, called the police on me." And he said, "You might as well go to the PO because you ain't going to make it.
Wow.
Because that ain't why you here." And since he was talking about me going back to prison, I walked outside and I said, "Lord, please show me the truth." And the truth was, I was more comfortable lying than being honest. And then I walked back in there. May he rest in peace. His name is Randy. May he rest in peace. I said, "Brother, I'm here because I put my hands on the woman I said I love." He said, "You might have a chance."
Damn. Might have a chance.
Might have a chance because, see, on this journey, you just described it. You described this relationship that you had to sever because it wasn't serving you.
No.
It wouldn't even allow you to answer the question, "Who am I?" It wouldn't even allow you to get to somebody like me to say, "Listen, there's 3 questions in life, and one of them is, who am I?" And an old sage once say, if you want to find out who you are, you must first look at who you're not. What is love? Well, I don't know, but I know I need to be looking out for what love ain't. Who will I become? Right?
Yeah.
I had the same question. Who will I become? I need to take a look at what I don't want to become. And me and you both have an experience that we don't want to become a person that, well, we done already blew it. Ain't no more social drinking for us because I didn't know day one. I'm in Germany. I'm in Germany. And they say, "Hey, let's go to the park." But they did not tell me. So in Europe, they got parks where people are comfortable being naked. Right? Yeah. I get to the park. Hey, I'm the only one with clothes on. Right? And one of them Fräuleins, fine little German lady. She says, "Sprechen Sie Deutsch?" I say, "Ich möchte like this, Yoli." And she says, "Take your clothes off." Hey, I'm from the hood. Take your clothes off. And I needed a drink for that.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they handed me a bottle of, well, it was these 2 guys, man. One was called Jack, the other one was called Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look, and I act like I drunk before, and I must have took a little too much, right?
Yeah.
Because I got like I got to throw up, and so I found myself heading toward the bushes. I need to tell you, we got to the park at 11. I got some good rest because at 8 o'clock I woke up in the bushes, right across from some vomit with no shoes.
Damn.
So I should have known I had a bad relationship with alcohol in the beginning. But I need to tell you the truth. I just needed to know how to get downtown near the Bahnhof because that's where the bars was at.
For sure.
No shoes.
No shoes.
On my way to the bar.
Ain't no thing, right?
Right? I should have knew I had a problem. Right?
Yeah.
And so I identified where the early stages, those early warnings of want to run from, hey, I done been to Stanford University. I done been to Foothill College. I done been to some prestigious places. What I'm going to become? Who am I? I remember. I remember. And shortly after, I found out who I don't want to be. I don't want to be the drunk that come to, right? I get to actually choose to go to sleep and wake up.
Two very nice things.
I mean, I want to thank you though, because at your age, it's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm working on a project. We'll finish editing from the men's conference that Mount Sac sent me to. And then I heard, I'm coming up on 2 years. I say, he don't know. I'm just going to sit back for a minute because I don't think they really understand out there, right? You know, I don't think they understand what it's like to be on the other side of the bottle.
It's a powerful place. Speaking of my own experience, those first few months were some of the, I don't want to say weirdest, but it was just the clarity you get from realizing, for me, it was, I had this like fog around me, even after I quit 2, 3, 4, 5 months after. I couldn't formulate sentences well. I was stammering a lot when I talked. I really couldn't communicate well. And realizing that effect lasted for so long, even when I wasn't drinking, was very eye-opening. And then finally coming out of that 8 months later, 9 months later, I was actually able to talk with people. I was actually in the conversation while I was having it. It was really weird because when you're drinking, as you sure know, there's just this point where you're like, you're half there, you're half out. For me, I was always like, oh my God, I got to finish this drink. Like, what are we even talking about? I was half in the conversation. I didn't really even care, to be honest. But then actually trying to communicate and actually trying to build relationships with people outside of drinking, it was breathtaking. It was awesome.
Now, before he started, y'all, he said, oh, I don't want to say it's weird. And I was saying, no, that was a weird shit I done been through, right? It was super weird because I found that, and have you had the experience that I'm talking about? I found that when I started drinking, right, early on, it's like I had this false courage.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You can take on take on hell with the squirt gun?
Did y'all hear that? He said, take on hell with a squirt gun. Woo! I was in trouble and didn't know it. And something else happened because I can identify with the willingness to stop, and my head bombarded me. But what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do now?
For me, I called it the what ifs. What if you got sober? What if you actually started taking yourself seriously? What if you started doing these things? And it's like, no, I can't. The what ifs.
Mine, look, back before your time, there used to be a commercial with a frying pan.
Okay.
And it start off like this. They drop an egg in a hot frying pan, and it says, a brain is a terrible thing to waste. And as I'm thinking about it and listening to you, it reminds me that the ism of alcoholism or any addiction is centered in our thinking. I identify with Brother Jay, and I had them same thoughts when I was 19 years old. But I'm in Germany now. I can't come back. I done signed up for the United States government. I bit the marketing. Be all you can be. But I didn't see alcohol in the picture. I didn't see losing my mind in the picture. I didn't see none of that. Right? I bit you can get your education on and
go see the world.
I didn't see whatever your military occupational specialty is. I didn't see in the fine print and everything else we tell you to do. I didn't see that. And what I saw a lot of people do was, those were the moderate drinkers. They could go drink, come back, no problem. I took a drink, something happened. It's like I had arrived. I no longer have to. Actually, I don't even hear, right? Back until it got really worse. I don't even hear, who are you? What you going to make of yourself? Where you want to be in 1, 3, 5 years? I didn't hear none of that no more.
Yeah.
But then something happened. Those voices came back and they was louder.
Mm.
And for some reason, I thought I needed to drink more. Then something happened. I lost control.
Hmm.
Then I really freaked out. I lost control. And I found out I was trying to control others. So I learned from my behavior. When people come and try to control me, it's because they out of control. I had the personal experience of
Mm.
being out of control, trying to control my environment. Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Tell us more.
Let me think. I guess it started. It started when I went to college. Well, much before college. It was weekend drinking in high school. Kind of doing it because it was bad, right? You're like, oh, I'm getting away with it. It's not that bad. It's only like 6 beers. Okay, fine, or whatever it might be. But then it just kept progressively getting worse through college, and I was just. I hate to say it, but my mantra in college was not to thrive; it was to survive. I had 4 years. If I got my degree at the end of it, it didn't matter what happened within that chunk of time. So I spent it trying to have as much fun as possible. And my version was fun was usually like you, waking myself up off the curb at God 3 in the morning after a night downtown, getting on those. Do you ever get on those bird scooters?
No, what's a
No.
bird scooter?
So they're like it was like a big thing. I mean, they're still around, but it got huge at like 2019, 2018. They were like electrical scooters that you could rent. It was almost like it was like Uber Light, right? So you got to drive these electric scooters, but basically you'd rent them and they were, it cost you like 20 cents a mile or something like that. And you just drive these things around to your next destination. So that's what we would do. We would go downtown. We either walk downtown or not drive, Uber downtown. And we're like, the Uber coming back is going to be a bit. Hop on that, hop on that bird, get back home, 20-minute flat. God, what we got? Got one of these. Oh, it's on my elbow here. Funny enough, the day before I started a job, I ate it hard coming back on a bird. And I covered it up because my boss knew I was playing rugby in college. So I was like, it's just a turf burn. Don't worry about it. And he lapped it off, but that kept happening. I probably ate it 4 or 5 times. Didn't really think much of it, but I really relate to you. And I'm not joking. There was 2 or 3 times. One I vividly remember because thankfully my friends captured it and they showed it to me. And they're like, hey man, like this jokingly, like, oh, you kind of look stupid, but like, what happened, buddy? But legitimately, I was in the middle of the street, probably maybe not in the middle, maybe like 3, 4 feet away from the curb of my front house, like of the front lawn of my house. I'm passed out. I've got a euro in my left hand because they used to have like a Euro Shack on downtown Boise. Loved it. It was my best. It was my favorite drunk spot. But I had half a euro eaten. My shoes are off, funny enough, as well. And I'm just dead asleep in the middle of the road. My friends found me. They thankfully didn't hit me in their Uber, thank God. And they get me, peel me off the ground, throw me inside, show me all the pictures the next morning. And I almost wore it as a badge of honor back then. But now, thinking back on it, it's a bad experience because I don't want to do that again. I don't want to almost get hit by a car without realizing it. I don't want to be in the middle of a street because I'm so drunk I can't even walk to the front door. And I guess another memory that pops up, and I feel so bad because it was supposed to be such a beautiful day. It was my 21st birthday, and my mom had invited our extended family out. And, it wasn't a secret that I'd been drinking before I turned 21. It was kind of like a wink, wink, nod, nod kind of thing. And so everyone who came, funny enough, they got me a bottle of whatever alcohol it was. And I thought it was the funniest joke to try and drink as big of a swig as I could from each bottle when I opened it. So I'd already been day drinking day of my birthday. But then I just keep taking shots of one person got me Jack Daniels, one person got me, oh God, what is it? The vodka. Some kind of vodka. Someone got me a tequila. And I kept just shot. by 4 p.m. I was blacked out. And there's a story of me holding my cake. And my mom got me this awesome cake. It was, God, what was it? Oh man, it wasn't an ice cream cake. I can't remember the cake, obviously, but it was a beautiful looking cake because there's a picture of me holding it, and my eyes are like pretty much cross-eyed, staring at the camera. But at a certain point, my mom wanted the cake back because she's like, "Hey, I got to light the candles and stuff." And then in my drunk state, I was like, "No, this is my cake." So I started like taking the cake and like trying to run away with it. And so it was her and my older brother like fighting me to get the cake. And I'm like almost like the cake's almost fallen like 5 times at this point. And at one point, I literally just shoot it up above my head on one hand because I'm taller than the rest of my family. So I'm basically doing like the good old fashioned, like, oh no, you can't have it, you can't have it. And that cake was, and my friends tell me this story all the time because they were like, if you would have dropped that cake, like we were out of there. Like we were not going to watch that fallout happen. But I got that cake above my head, and I thought in the moment, I thought it was the funniest thing because it was like, oh no, you can't have the cake, ha ha ha. But I just completely ruined this amazing experience that I could have had with my family. Something that if I were more responsible, if I had a better relationship with alcohol in that time, I could have been, you know, a few drinks here and there, a lovely evening. But unfortunately, I passed out at 5 p.m. and missed my own day of birthday night on the town because I drank myself into a stupor.
Couldn't do it no more.
No. But yeah, oh man, it was so bad because they were like trying to like half like, oh haha, game over, and it was no game to me. They were not getting that cake from my hands. Oh, and it feels a little embarrassing to be honest because thinking back on it, I don't even know why I wanted the cake so bad. But
You tell an alcoholic and an addict to do something, it's going to be the opposite. Give me the cake. What you mean?
yeah,
Not today.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like they really blessed you.
Oh my god! If I didn't have the family that I had, I don't know where I would end up. I don't know where I would be today for sure. My mother is a beautiful person, beautiful woman. She's just amazing. She was the support that I needed to get through this for sure.
Good for you and her. So tell me what it's like being separated from that bad relationship.
Oh my god, it's something. It's twofold. It's almost melancholy to me because there are times that
Wait, hold on. Some of my listeners is from the hood, and they don't hear nothing about no melancholy. They don't hear nothing about being sober. So,
okay.
What do you mean melancholy?
It both feels good and bad at the same time. It feels happy and sad. It's almost paradoxical. We're good with that. So it's a mashup between looking back on it fondly and an embarrassment. The fond memories are it's the camaraderie, it's the hanging with friends, being social, being, hanging with my dad, going to a bar and just shooting it with him, talking about sports, talking about whatever, and it being light. And some of the times it wasn't a problem, but I also look back at it with embarrassment because it was a problem. Realizing that it was a problem was harder than I anticipated. I don't know. I honestly didn't feel like I had a problem with it, obviously, during the throes of it. And so kind of in my sober, moments, looking back, like, oh no, like you were acting a fool for sure. Like there's no redeeming qualities of being the asshole that you were. Like there just wasn't. Cause, you're out with your friends, you're doing stupid stuff here and there, and it's like kind of funny, but it's really not. And realizing that I was being more of a problem than more of just a fun light guy, that really hit hard from people being like, "Hey man, like you were like what was going on?" I'm like, "Oh, was I really that bad?" They're like, "Yeah, you're that bad." And I was like, "Oh."
So that's good you didn't have a bunch of justifiers, right? Because I find it on my journey the more you elevate in honesty,
Mm-hmm.
the more authentic you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And the more authentic you are, the less company you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people in general, they, number one, compete with themselves and with others
Mm-hmm.
to see who can tell the best lie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it seemed like you had a good circle of people that would
Absolutely.
be straightforward with you.
Absolutely. My three best friends that I've had since high school, I've kept hanging out with them, and they've thankfully let me hang around with them. And the reason why I love them so much is because they will always be honest with me. If I hit them with like, hey, like, what's going on here? Like, tell it to me straight. They will tell it to me straight, even if it does not hurt my feelings or hurt me in the end, but more so like even if it's something I don't want to hear, they will tell me.
He just put on the machismo cap. We don't want to be hurt, but when you got some good people in your life and you know that you know that you know that you know they got your best interest, I'm going to go ahead and help you.
Mm-hmm.
That shit hurt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it hurts, for sure.
Right? Because I get to see, I'm just speaking on me, I get to see the reflection of what love looked like.
Mm.
And part of me reminds me when I was on the other end of the stick and I had to get, I call it the both barrels.
Mm-hmm.
It hurted me again, like you say, twofold. Because one, damn, Lord, what did I deserve to have? Genuine friends.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end, what if I didn't have genuine friends?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
What if when I came home, mom said, son, I can't do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go. I had to do that to my son one day.
Mm.
I'm raising 3 girls and him. And he had to have the experience he had to have. And I had to ask him, hey, this is where we part. Right? And as a parent, that shit hurt it.
Oh, for sure.
Right? But then
I can't imagine.
I had to look at the safety of the collective. And thank God for a mom like yours, for the family support. But I think they wanted to even into themselves. That's why they all bought you a bottle.
I mean, I will say I was a riot when I got going. Like there was, yeah.
They said
shameless person for sure.
They said we better get him out of here before the sun go down. So we can have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, one thing on your birthday, and I could sit and I'm finna laugh about it for you. I had one of those birthdays before, and I asked my mom, I said, you remember when you and dad and all the elders, y'all had me in a similar situation? I'm so sorry. And my mom saying, boy, you didn't know? I say, what? Well, we didn't want to know where you were, we didn't want that night to be worried about where you was at. And I'm telling you, I cussed one of my aunties out, and I was drinking this stuff called shawushi.
Shawushi?
Look, it's a rice wine.
Oh, okay.
And no sooner did I cussed her out, I passed out. And my body got so hot. And I was like, auntie, please go get a towel. Please put it on my body. I'm burning up. And she looked at me. She said, are you sure you want me to go get you a towel? I'm like, please. And she did. And it cooled my body down. And that's where I woke up at in the hallway. Thank God for people like that.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Wait, hold on. I hope this ain't a trigger. What's your goal now?
My goal now? My goal now is I'm trying to think of it because I do have it. I'm trying to be clear with what it is. Basically, I want enough structure in my life. I want to find a vocation in which I do believe it's going to be something in the voiceover business. And I want that job, and I want to be able to be working that consistently. I want to have security knowing that I have a gig going, that I have stable income. That's my goal.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So is that what brought you to the radio department?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Good for you.
I was, I think, coming up on a year at that point. It was, what is it? 22, 23, 23. Yeah, no, 23. It was December of 22 going into January 23. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. Like, I'm nearly a year sober. I'm still spinning my wheels. And I'd been adverse to going back to school because I'm like, I already have my degree. I don't need to go back to school. And my mom kept pushing it. Like, no, like, you have your communications degree. Are you going to use that? I'm like, no, I don't want to be an HR person. I don't want to work an office job. And she's like, well, then it sounds like you're going to have to find something else. So you can either keep
What do you have a
trying.
degree in? What is it, a bachelor's, master's?
A bachelor's in communications.
So I heard this. I just heard this.
Mhm.
Most people with bachelor's degrees, right, can get a job teaching. And master's degree allows you to sit down with the decision makers. I just came from a conference that was so beautiful, man.
Where was it?
It was at Hyatt Regency.
Okay.
It was called A2 Men, so African American Fellowship of Men Brothers.
Mhm.
And boy, let me tell you, as you say you want to be in the voiceover business, I take my equipment with me everywhere I go. I got the camera hooked up in the car, and it was beautiful. But the security at the conference, no joking, probably better than the president's. The security,
damn.
Look, this guy, he's head of security, and whether he was joking or not, so I'm interviewing people, and he would come by and say, hey, y'all gonna get in trouble, y'all keep messing with him. I'm interviewing doctors, y'all gonna get in trouble when you mess with him. I say, and I was talking to one therapist, and I was sharing with her my story, and then he came over, and he said, even you, doc, you gonna get in trouble messing with him. I say, so I don't know if he know my dad, but let me tell you what I do know about him. I say, military man, yeah. Defense Department, yeah. Military police, yeah. How long you been doing it? 32 years. And the doctor asked me, how could you tell? I say, I come from where they trained me to watch the most alertest person. I say, and he's the most alertest person, even here, right? I mean, that crew, I think if something would have jumped off, it would have been a whole bunch of other people coming from all directions, right? And people at the conference, if they would have needed to fly out, we right by the LAX, they would have been out of there like that. And so I use that analogy because you said your goal is to do something in voiceover.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
I love to be around young people. I understand now why my grandmother always had young people around her, because we get to see things different through your eyes. And when you get older like me, it's going to become a joy to be able to see a light come on. Yeah. Right? When I heard you say you had to divorce alcohol, I was like, the point he trying to make to them, I don't think they get it.
Oh, it's a conscious choice.
Yeah. The point you was making, though, out there, I don't think they got it. Right? And I'm looking at him and I was like, me and you in the same crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we in that same clique called Sobriety, right? And it's an honor.
Oh, the honor's mine. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I want to share with you, no matter what challenge comes, just remember, we just do this deal one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Just one day. Because if you got a brain like mine, just, sometimes it just cut on right. And I go from peace to chaos and confusion. And I'll be like, okay, how'd I get there? How did I get there? Wait, I'm going to leave everybody alone. And then I leave everybody alone and I found out I ain't lonely. I just chose to be alone. And when you raise your frequency, when you have a goal and you keep going toward that goal, something happens to the vibration in us. We're on a different frequency than others, right? And I'm be like, okay, Lord, what up now? Right? Where you want me to go now?
Mm-hmm.
Who you want me to serve now? See, I be listening for the interview. Just like you say you want to do voiceover,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to consider Voice 123 if you don't know anything about it, where you can listen to voiceover artists that's already out there,
Yeah.
right? Find some of these conferences,
Mm-hmm.
go to, and I'll leave you with this. Know that you're one of the best. I got the proof. And I'm going to share the legacy of my mother. When I was 15 years old, we was driving down El Camino Real up in Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like this piece of land with all these buildings seemed to go for a long stretch. I say, Mom, whatever that is over there, I want to be a part of that. It was Stanford University. She introduced me to Rita Duncan and Jean Matthews. Jean Matthews was the wife of the coach of the 49ers during 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, when they was just Super Bowl back to back to back.
Just steamrolling.
And she started Upward Bound. The other sister started the Mesa program with just math, science, and something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I'm in the 9th grade. I just graduated from school in South Central.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to Northern California, and now I'm going to Stanford University while I was going to Woodside High School. Alexander Haig and George Schultz was in one of my classes. I'm in a class full of fellas.
Mm-hmm.
For them to become politicians, they got to be fellas. In 1982, I think it was 82, and then 86, both of them same men became Secretary of State. I'm sharing this with you because when you set your focus, wait, let me finish the point. How do I know that you one of the ones and there is no other you? My mom said to me, baby, on December 15th, 1963, at 9:44 p.m., you bust out my womb and wasn't nobody there with you. So there's only one you, Brother Jay. So don't rob me of your gift. Don't rob you of your gift. It's going to be something that may come along and tell you, you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Doubt their doubt. And if you have any doubt, doubt the doubt, but don't doubt the gift that the Most High gave you. He only gave it to you. Just like he only gave me the ability, I be listening for interviews.
That's awesome.
Unapologetic, straightforward. Hey, bro, that's an episode.
Mm-hmm.
You say when you want to do it. I say right now. Well, how long we going to be? How long you want to be? Because it's your story.
Oh, I loved it. That was a great approach to it. It was awesome. Just right there. Hey, are you willing to do it? Yeah. When do you want to do it? Right now. Sounds good.
You have any last words?
Yes. I also do want to mention my dad as well, because I know I gave props to my mom, but my dad was also very supportive as well. I was more so with him. It was more so commonplace to be, drinking at a bar and stuff. And I was really worried when I made up my mind to divorce from alcohol, bringing that up to him, because that was kind of like our thing. And I didn't know how I was going to go. And I told him just straight up, like, hey, Dad, drinking, it's not working for me. I'm going to be sober. And I don't know why, but I was worried that he wasn't going to accept that, but like nothing ever happened. Like nothing phased him. He was just, okay, fantastic. We don't have to do that. I'm like, oh my God. Because I was so worried he was going to be like, oh, well, like, how about let's just still go to the bar, though? No. He was like, all right, whatever you want to do. Let's just hang out.
He probably was waiting on that
day. Maybe.
Because the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous describes 3 types of drinkers. That seemed to be a moderate drinker, right? Meaning he can go slam as many as he wants. But he was coming back home, going to work or whatever he had to do. Then there is the hard drinker. The hard drinker is the one that circumstances may come up. Like you may be just a hard drinker. You say, you know what? I'm good. I got too many examples why I shouldn't. I can see that I'm causing harm, yet in my mind, I'm saying I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the real one, the wife can come. Look, man, I'm a real one. I'm a real one. I'm about to say I'm not proud of, but I'm a real one. I remember the woman that I'm married to now before I got married to her. She was just crying and, she pushing our baby. That baby couldn't have been, I don't know. She said, I'm going to leave you and I'm going to leave the state.
Mm.
And I was like, your dad. Okay. Just leave me that money we was talking about. And I can laugh about it now, but the look in her eyes, wow, it penetrated my heart. Yeah. So I identify when you talk about paradoxically, when you talk about on one end, I'm cool because really doing what I got to do out of necessity because the voices came back on who are you, Aaron? Is this how you going out? Right? I like there's a book called The Four Agreements, and it talks about the judge in our head.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And in the beginning, drugs and alcohol for me, it quieted those voices. But at some point, they came back screaming, right? No matter how much, look, they didn't give me a break. And I'm like, oh my God, please. And then I conceded to my innermost self that at that point, I was drinking and using out of necessity because my body demanded it. I didn't know I suffered from an obsessive compulsive disorder. I was clueless. I think you started off by reminding us, those that are in recovery who may listen to this, that one is too many. I told that lie so many times. I'm just going to have one.
Oh, that beautiful one. I'm just going to have one after work. Oh, let's meet up. Let's just have one. Just one. Nah.
One ended up taking me to a blackout.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just wouldn't stop. My associates would say, okay, Aaron, it's time to go. What are you talking about? I ain't through. You see how you talking now? You're an effective communicator. And you're slurring and you can't hardly stand up. Yeah, I thank God, man. I thank God. I thank God for you coming and sharing your experience, strength, and hope with us. Hey, y'all, this is Aaron G. Listen to the Heartbeat. We in the studio, and I'm honored that the Most High will allow me, because normally I go somewhere else, but today I came and sat in the studio, do some editing, and I heard a brother talk about this experience of being sober. I heard him talking about being willing to divorce something that was unhealthy for him. And as I'm sitting here looking at him, I mean, in the beginning of the conversation, he probably was wondering, what's wrong with this black snagging too fast dude? Why he smiling? It's the opportunity that I get to sit next to another man who demonstrate willingness to face the fact that I can wait to find out who I am a day at a time. A day at a time, I will find out where I'm going a day at a time. But if you got an alcoholic mind, watch out. Because in any given moment, I like to say I suffer from all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. My head will tell me, celebrate. My head will say, it's graduation time. You done it.
Weekend's here.
Won't nobody know. And the truth from my experience, everybody always knew.
Oh, yeah.
I thoroughly convinced myself, man, I ain't hurt nobody. Why you on my case? Why you messing up my high? So thank God for the moms and the fathers, the support teams we had all along, that we can accept that that's who and what they were and who and what they still are. Wow, what a deal. My name is Aaron G, and this is Listen to the Heartbeat. You can find me on Podbean. You can find me on Instagram, Amazon Music, and any other platform. If you just go to the search engine and type in Listen to the Heartbeat by Aaron G. You will get the latest episode. I have an episode coming up with a sister. She's in Israel. The last episode was she gave us a poem, and what was so amazing and honorable about that episode, bombs is dropping over there. And she said to me, Aaron, I want to get my poem out there. And I say, call me when you got a chance. And she went down in the monastery when she had a chance. We only had 15 minutes. Matter of fact, when I get off the line, I'm going to reach out to her. All I can say is wow, and I'm honored that God allowed me to meet Brother J, Brother J, Brother J, Brother J.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said earlier, the honor's all mine.
Peace and blessings. This is Aaron G. We listen to the Heartbeat, and we signing off.